Jamal Brooks stood at the window of his corner office, 40 stories above San Francisco's bustling financial district. The morning sun glinted off his custom-designed quantum processor, a sleek black cube that hummed softly on his desk. At 32, Jamal had revolutionized the tech world with Equitech Solutions, a company valued at $2 billion that specialized in bias-free artificial intelligence systems. His latest innovation, the Fairness Protocol, promised to eliminate discrimination in everything from loan applications to medical diagnoses. The prototype had already outperformed every competitor in blind testing, and tomorrow's demonstration at Tech Future Expo would finally unveil it to the world. Jamal adjusted his burgundy tie and smiled at his reflection. Years of sleepless nights, skeptical investors, and countless setbacks had led to this moment. What he didn't know was that before the day ended, his creation would become a weapon in a battle he never expected to fight. Jamal strode confidently through the glass doors of the Westbrook Hotel's grand ballroom, where tech elites had gathered for the pre-conference networking event. His assistant, Maya, followed with their presentation materials. "Mr. Brooks." "Your badge, sir," called a staff member, rushing toward them. The event coordinator, a thin woman named Patricia Donovan, intercepted them. Her gaze flickered over Jamal's tailored suit before settling on Maya. "The service entrance is around back," Patricia said with practiced politeness. "Vendors need to check in separately." "I'm not a vendor," Jamal replied calmly. "I'm Jamal Brooks, CEO of Equitech. We're presenting tomorrow in the main hall." Patricia's smile tightened. There must be some mistake. She examined her tablet. "We have a J. Brooks scheduled, but surely." Her voice trailed off. "Surely what?" Jamal asked, his voice steady despite the familiar sting. "Security." Patricia called, ignoring him. "We have an unauthorized person attempting to access the VIP area." Two guards approached as executives turned to stare. Some smirked. Others looked away uncomfortably. None intervened. "Check the guest list," Maya insisted, her voice rising. "Or Google him. He's one of your keynote speakers." Patricia's eyes narrowed. "Please lower your voice or I'll have you both removed." Back at their hotel suite, Jamal paced while Maya made frantic calls to the conference organizers. "They've apologized," Maya said, hanging up. "Patricia has been reassigned, and we're still on tomorrow's schedule. The CEO, Victor Westbrook himself, wants to meet you for breakfast." Jamal's phone buzzed with an email notification. He frowned at the screen. "What is it?" Maya asked. "Remember how Nextech Solutions has been trying to acquire our Fairness Protocol? Their acquisition team just doubled their offer to $500 million. Maya gasped. "That's owned by Westbrook Enterprises," Jamal finished, pulling up a business profile. "The same company that runs the conference." On his tablet, Jamal opened the conference program. There, beside the Westbrook logo, was a photograph of the company's leadership team. Front and center stood Victor Westbrook, and beside him, smiling coldly, was Patricia Donovan, listed as Chief Operating Officer. "This wasn't a mistake," Jamal said quietly. "She knew exactly who I was." "But why would they?" Jamal pulled up Nextech's recent press coverage. Headlines blared about discrimination lawsuits and biased algorithms that had denied services to minority applicants. "They need our technology to fix their reputation. And they thought they could intimidate me into selling." The Skyline restaurant buzzed with early morning business conversations. Victor Westbrook, silver-haired and impeccably dressed, rose to greet Jamal with a practiced smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Mr. Brooks, what an honor. I've been following your work for years." Victor gestured to the empty chair. "Please, join me." Jamal remained standing. "Is Patricia joining us?" Victor's smile faltered. "I understand there was an unfortunate misunderstanding yesterday. Patricia sends her deepest apologies." "A misunderstanding," Jamal repeated, sliding into the chair. Interesting choice of words. A server approached. Victor ordered mimosas. I'll have water, Jamal said. And let's get to the point. I know Nextech is your subsidiary. I know about the lawsuits. And I know why you want my technology. Victor's jaw tightened. Business is business, Mr. Brooks. $500 million is more than generous for an unproven algorithm. Unproven? Jamal pulled out his phone, opening a news article. Your facial recognition software falsely identified 37% of black and brown individuals as criminals. Your loan approval AI rejected qualified minority applicants at 6 times the rate of white applicants with identical credentials. That seems pretty proven to me. Victor leaned forward. Which is precisely why we need your technology. Think about the good it could do inside our infrastructure. And you thought humiliating me would make me eager to sell? Jamal asked. That was Patricia's initiative, not mine. She's old school. Victor shrugged. But you have to admit, it brought us to the table quickly. Let me be clear, Jamal said, his voice low and controlled. I built the fairness protocol because I've experienced discrimination my entire life. I won't hand it over to the company that embodies the problem. Victor's expression hardened. You're making a mistake. We can make this difficult for you. One bad demonstration tomorrow could sink your company. Are you threatening me? I'm offering you one last chance. $700 million. Final offer. Jamal stood up. This meeting is over. And you should know, I record all my business conversations. He tapped his lapel pin. For fairness. By evening, the recording had gone viral. Tech blogs ran headlines like Westbrook CEO caught threatening black innovator. Social media exploded with hashtag fairness protocol and hashtag stand with Jamal trending worldwide. 3 major investors in Westbrook Enterprises publicly demanded answers. Jamal's phone rang non-stop. He ignored most calls, but answered when Maya's name appeared. The conference hasn't canceled our slot yet, she reported. But our office received an envelope with photos of you, marked with red X's. Security is reviewing building footage now. Jamal sighed. They're trying to scare us. It's working on me, Maya admitted. Maybe we should take the money and walk away. If we sell to them, the fairness protocol dies in development. They'll bury it to protect their existing systems. Jamal looked at his computer screen, where messages of support poured in alongside vicious attacks. This is bigger than us now. His private line rang, a number he didn't recognize. Against better judgment, he answered. Mr. Brooks. A woman's voice, trembling slightly. This is Patricia Donovan. Jamal's grip tightened on the phone. What do you want? To help, she whispered. Victor's planning to sabotage your demonstration. He's had someone tampering with the venue's power supply. They're going to cut electricity during your presentation and blame it on a system overload from your quantum processor. Why are you telling me this? A pause. Because after 30 years in tech, your recording made me see what I've become. What we've built. I need proof, Jamal said. Check your email. I've sent the technical diagrams and the altered maintenance schedule. And Mr. Brooks? I'm so sorry. The Tech Future Expo main stage gleamed under spotlights. Every seat was filled, with journalists and industry leaders crowding the aisles. Jamal stood backstage, watching the live feed of Victor Westbrook finishing his opening remarks. Without further delay, Victor announced with practiced charm, "Please welcome Jamal Brooks of Equitech Solutions." Applause thundered as Jamal walked onto the stage. He nodded to the technicians he'd secretly brought in overnight, who had installed independent power sources beneath the stage. Today, we're demonstrating the Fairness Protocol, an AI system that eliminates bias in decision-making processes, Jamal began. But first, I'd like to address something else. The massive screen behind him displayed the leaked technical diagrams. These show plans to cut power during my presentation. Why would someone do that? He asked. The crowd murmured in confusion. Jamal clicked to another slide, a photograph of Victor and Patricia at yesterday's event. When I arrived at this conference, I was treated like an intruder rather than a presenter. When I refused to sell my company, I received threats. Victor stood up. This is absurd. Security cut his microphone. Nothing happened. The security team remained still, many of them filming with their phones. The reason Westbrook Enterprises wanted my technology, Jamal continued, was to bury it. Their own AI systems have been discriminating against people who look like me for years. The screen displayed multiple news stories about Nextech's discrimination lawsuits. The audience gasped. Mr. Brooks, Victor shouted, striding toward the stage, you're making serious allegations without proof. Jamal smiled. Actually, I have proof. And now, let me show you what the fairness protocol can really do. He pressed a button on his remote. The screen displayed a real-time facial recognition scan of the audience, identifying every person without a single error, including Victor, whose profile appeared alongside his complete background. Discrimination lawsuits included. 3 months later, Jamal stood in his expanded headquarters, watching a news report on the newly mounted television. In business news, the tech world is still feeling aftershocks from what industry insiders call the fairness revolution, the anchor announced. Following Jamal Brooks' explosive presentation, Westbrook Enterprises stock plummeted 40%. Victor Westbrook resigned as CEO last week. Meanwhile, Equitech Solutions has launched partnerships with 12 major tech companies to implement bias detection systems. The camera panned to Patricia Donovan testifying before a congressional committee on algorithmic discrimination. We built systems that hurt people, she said firmly. Now we must fix them. Jamal's phone buzzed with a notification. His fairness protocol had just been adopted as an industry standard. Outside his window, a diverse group of new engineers entered the building for their first day at Equitech. Systemic change requires more than algorithms, Jamal said to Maya, who stood beside him reviewing quarterly reports. It requires changing who builds them. She smiled. And who leads? On his desk sat a framed magazine cover naming him Person of the Year, with the headline, The Man Who Decoded Justice.